Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. This is going to be my first video in a series of a lot of videos, but here we go today. Our topic is the root of all political corruption in this country, money and politics. So there's a lot of things I could go over here. There's almost an endless amount of things to pull from here because of all the endless instances that the will of the people was subverted by the will of the big moneyed interests. So really there's no great place to start, but I think I'll start with the big picture stuff. There is a mindset. Let's start with the mindset of the populace. There's a mindset of people that they just believe anything that looks official and seems official and established in, like, for instance, like, let's say a mainstream news organization. They think, oh, they know what they're doing. They've done their research and they're telling me the truth when they never report on 2010, the Supreme Court ruled on money equaling speech. They're telling me the straight dope, right? I could trust these people. This mindset that I'm talking about, that's part of the problem. Because it's easy to just blame all the problems on the money that is in these, for lack of a better term, evil people's hands. But another part of the problem that's going to be on people like me and other content creators that talk about these issues. That problem's on us to change the mind of the voters that vote in these corrupt politicians as well. Because we have one of the most uninformed voting populaces of any country in the world. I mean, it's really crazy. If you look at the numbers, we're almost, per capita, the most uninformed voter populace on what we're voting for. Not to say all of America is stupid, that all of America is ignorant on what they're voting for. And it's not necessarily their fault. They want you to be ignorant of it. Because if you know about it, if you follow the voting records of all these politicians, if you follow the lobbyist money that comes from these corporations to do their bidding, if you follow all the rulings then after they've been elected, that they never once do any sort of high power, like, oh, I'm going to fight for the people for a $15 minimum wage. They never do it. Because the people are not who they're representing. They're representing the donors. It's as simple as that. And these donors, they make it real easy to represent them. Let's go over the lobbyist money spent only from Wall Street during the years 2012 to 2016. Okay? 2012, $3.3 billion on lobbyist money from Wall Street. Billion. 2013, $3.24 billion. 2014, $3.26 billion. 2015, $3.23 billion. 2016, $3.16 billion. And the billions and billions and billions, to quote the Donald Trump meme, keep going. They keep accumulating. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. The money keeps rolling into these politicians' pockets. Okay? That is, just so you know, only 4 years of lobbyist money accumulates to $16.19 billion. Now, if that number of money just spent on lobbyists to control your politicians, if that number doesn't shock you and bewilder you in every imagined way, you need to take a closer look at these things. It's everywhere. It's obvious. They try their best to downplay all of this. I'm talking about the politicians and the media here. To downplay this and to obfuscate it and make it seem like, well, yeah, that's true that there's a lot of money spent there, but it's what the people voted for. It doesn't matter. They'll come up with any excuse. And they do that specifically to fuck you. Not the power, not the establishment, not the foreign enemies, the imagined enemies. That'll be another video topic. But you. They're not in the interest of serving you, as in a represented democracy. They're in the interest of making sure that your life is as hard-lived and hard-worked as possible. And really, there's no other way to change this than to get this lobbying system that has been set up for decades completely outlawed, and not just outlawed, but criminally prosecuted very heavily to disincentivize these politicians from, I don't know, what's an easy, nice, polite way to say it? Selling out everyone who voted them in. They're selling them out to the corporate donors. Another big problem here is a one-to-one equation that you can follow. For example, multinational corporations. Now we're off of just Wall Street. Multinational corporations such as, Amazon, Walmart, we could go on, also spend billions of dollars in lobbyist money. And as soon as the politicians accept that money, they will never again speak of a minimum wage increase, speak of a worker rights increase, or even discussion. They will never again speak of anything material that would affect your life. All of a sudden, everything will become a big political theater show of Democrats and Republicans, and we're fighting for about 0.5% of disagreement between us. Because that is exactly how you stay in power if you're the richest corporations in the world. You subvert democracy. You subvert the will of the people. You subvert every founding principle that guides this country and brought this country to where it is now. One of the richest countries on the face of the earth. One of the most powerful countries on the face of the earth. Those principles have been foregone for a long time. And furthermore, as an addendum to that, something we need to do to combat this a little bit more effectively is maybe to stop this misguided sense of separation between the people that are in these parties. And I'm not talking about the elected representatives. I said the people. Because the people all go to the same grocery store. They all call the same fire department. They all go to the same hospitals for exorbitant rates. That's another video topic. They all go to the same libraries, and so on and so forth. They all they all share the exact same financial troubles. The working class all share the same over-policing troubles. Now, the African American community is undeniably mistreated more often than other communities by the police. It's undeniable. It's really a problem. It's kind of why there's these riots happening, so to speak. Riots. But most of these issues we share as brothers and sisters. Most of these issues are the exact bedrock of our lives. of all of our lives. That's the point. We get mixed up in their game, their little game, where we think, oh, if we vote for this person or that person that both took the same lobbyist money, something different will happen. No. The only candidate that ran this time around that didn't take all this lobbyist money and had a real shot at winning was Bernie Sanders. And if you look at all the polling issues the American people agree with, whether it be healthcare, whether it be climate change, whether it be the foreign wars, whether it be minimum wage, whether it be the drug war, whatever it is, what all the American people agree with, that's what Bernie Sanders supported and fought to the death for. He never backed down on any of that. You want to know why? Because he didn't take the corrupting, poisonous, snake venom money that all of his buddies did. And it's a crying shame, honestly, that I could only name one person like that. And how long has it been? We all thought Obama was like that. Well, he wasn't. He ended up taking the same corrupting money and ended up playing the same loose center-right politics so many Democrats seem to be getting up to. So we can't count that. How long has it been since we've had an actual presidential candidate or president or elected official of any kind that actually looked at what the people wanted, down the issues, all of them, and said, I'm supposed to be a representative of this country and my constituency. So I'm going to support what they want me to support. How long's it been? Franklin Delano fucking Roosevelt? That's a long fucking time ago. That's a really long time ago. It's about to be 100 years ago. And you wonder what's wrong with this country. You wonder. It's that the founding principles of democracy, a constitution for rights, and a representative democracy for change have been completely foregone. They've been rotted away, is a better way to put it. They've been rotted away over decades and decades and decades of this corrupting, disgusting, moneyed interests that just keeps on chugging its train. Chugga 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 chugga. Corrupt the politicians. Chugga 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 chugga. Billions more dollars. Where do you think this train's gonna go? Off the fucking rails. That's where it's already gone. Take a look around. Walk outside. We have a president who is fundamentally anti-science. We have an opposition to the president who can barely stammer out a sentence to oppose him, who said he would veto Medicare for all. Multiple times said he would veto it. That means all the work is done. It's been passed through Congress, House, Senate, both. And he would veto it if it got on his desk. That's our opposition. That's the left. There hasn't been a left other than Bernie Sanders for the presidency. Now, not to say, I'm not disregarding Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I mean, I could go on and on and on, but that's not what I'm talking about here. There hasn't been a left opposition force since the Bernie Sanders wave for about 100 fucking years. And that is all you need to answer the question, well, what happened with this country? Why did all these politicians start taking all this corrupting money and stop representing us like they were supposed to? That's why you haven't had an opposition to the moneyed politicians. You haven't had one. Didn't exist. Hasn't existed for Like I said, almost 100 years. You had a chance, America. You had a chance to vote for the actual candidate that could have built back better. Now, not to say anything to do with Biden being worse than Trump. Obviously, he's not worse than Trump. I'm voting for Biden begrudgingly because what the fuck else do we do? But I don't have to be happy about it. And no one should be happy about it. Because you're voting for somebody to oppose the worst presidential candidate ever documented in American history. Specifically, because there could have been maybe worse ones, but they were not as heavily documented as Trump. The worst on fucking video, non-stop documented candidate and president of all time in this country. There you go. That's all we got. You're going to end up with that and worse again if you don't realize that the problem is it is multi-layered, but honestly, the solutions are very central and simple. Get the money the fuck out yesterday, or you won't have an America by 2040. Climate change will have eaten the world. The workforce will have been even further degraded. Get it out. Fight as hard as you can to tell your politicians to get it the fuck out, or you're voting against them. Everything you can do, everything we can do as a country has to be done in order to combat this. If we can't come together as a citizenry and actually offer an opposing force to the infinite amounts of disgusting, vile, moneyed interests that corrupt this country, if we can't do that, then we deserve the fall that is coming and already happening. So get it together, boys and girls. This was light. See you in my next videos. Bye.